All right.
We had a hiccup today.
A miscommunication.
we were about to abandon ship.
We were like, who's on third? Who's on first?
Pretty much. I was like, oh, okay, so this isn't how. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Next time, until into perpetuity, I will be saying, are we going on at 11?
Pretty much. Whoops.
All right. And this is you. Well, I messed up my own intro. This is what I was.
We got this.
In front of the cops.
We did.
Hello, welcome
Fuck
to
the
You
system.
Can't Sit With Us. I am Hex's Damon. That is Yaka Damon. And that is Mother de la Mort.
For the record, my name is Akya.
Yeah, we went outside right now to get a little
Stony
take the
Baloney.
edge off, and I just walked out there, and I have this like, what do they call it earlier? The
It's one of-
pallbearer urn.
He was calling it the pallbearer urn because he's walking around going, oh. Like, I don't know if I was supposed to be walking like the Undertaker or what while he was doing it. Like,
I made myself laugh because we were coming in earlier, and like as we were walking in, I was like, "Oh, Undertaker, I'm gonna get so high," just like Paul Bear, and I was like, "This is." I couldn't stop laughing.
Well, so let me ask you, because it seems like it would still just be an automatic reaction, but I know that it's legal now where you guys are. Do you still have like the urge to hide whenever you see a cop?
We did. Okay, so
I
was
literally
walking
had a
out.
hit still in my mouth, like in my mouth.
Oh shit, the cops!
And he was taking a hit, and I just went.
Well, so I was walking out with this giant urn that we put all of our paraphernalia in. And,
right.
It's literally the ice thing for like a bartender set.
It looks like an urn, though. It does.
Yeah,
I was walking out, and mind you, the cops were literally they're sitting side by side. So
apparently, he didn't look.
It was driver to driver, so they were talking, and I didn't see him. I went out there and I packed a bowl, did everything, set it all out, and then we have a little spot where I set things out. It was in clear view; they could see everything I was doing, everything. And I'm just sitting there, and I was all of a sudden I hear Akia coming around the corner, and I was like, okay, well, I'll wait for her, see if she wants some, and because usually she doesn't smoke before the shows because she does all the reading.
It's never good if I'm trying to read like that. I don't even know what line I'm at.
So,
I said duty.
So we started the party up right before the show, and that's when she's all, oh shit, and we all put it down, and we just stood there, and like I backed away to where, like, because we have some Seiko palms and they're huge and they're right in front of our yard, and I backed away to where they couldn't see us, and all of a sudden I was sitting there going, wait a second, it's freaking legal, and I'm on my property right now. What the hell?
I know, I'm starting to get really confused about this story. Like, is it like gambling machines to where they're legal, but it's not legal all at the same time?
What
the best part is when we had company, we were asked, like, hey, what do we do? What do we do if we see the cops?
Get up on our lawn and get off the sidewalk because that's where it's the property.
Wave.
Stand here and smoke, but then that same exact hang out in front of our house.
Give me the drink.
I look up and there was a cop car, and I was like, guys, we might want to get back in the house. And they're all, wait, why? I thought it was legal. I'm like, that's not the issue. I don't know why they're there.
I got you. There may be something else going on.
Yeah. So yeah, we're like, what the fuck? And then the best part about this is when I went out there, my neighbors, they just got done working on their car, and they're playing Nate Dogg and Warren G's Regulators. Like, and then
Coolio.
And then Coolio, Gangster's Paradise. And like we were just sitting there, I was like, we're just blazing it up. And I was like, the cops were right there, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I was like, if this was back in high school, I would be in handcuffs right now.
I know, like somebody would be taking a trip to jail.
It still feels weird, man.
Well, you know, this must be like, I don't know, how can we say, Cop Thursday or something? Because like I know I was telling you guys, but just to tell everybody out there, because I want to put a link up in our Amazon storefront. And guys, look, we're Amazon affiliates and influencers with them. So if you decide you want to buy something through Amazon, like for Christmas, do us a solid because it does help us, and go through our links to do that because we do get a little bit of credit for that. And it's a way to support us while doing your Christmas shopping.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'm listening to this Audible book right now. Do what?
He said buy our shit. I was like, wait, you don't even have to buy our shit for that stuff.
No, buy our Amazon shit. And look, you don't even have to like buy the shit we recommend, even though I've got to say we recommend some pretty cool ass gifts. But you don't even have to buy the shit that we recommend. You just have to go in through our link and then buy whatever you want to. So like do us a solid. But
down the show notes, you'll see it. The link will be right there.
Exactly. And in our shopping area on the website. But so I'm doing this Audible because I know we're all doing Audible right now. I'm doing this Audible thing, and I found this book. And if you've got the Audible plan to where you get like the 1 credit a month, that's what I've got. And it's called Never Suck a Dead Man's Hand. It's the Curious Adventures.
He thought that was going in a different direction.
Of a CSI. This lady, she's a retard. She is a retard. I don't know, maybe a retired CSI. We'll pretend like I didn't say that, but a retired CSI investigator, and like her gallows humor is like on point. Like one of the first like chapters in the book is where this guy decides to eat like a shotgun sandwich, and so he's on his couch when he decides to take this big bite of shotgun sandwich, and completely like he has no like top knot anymore. It's gone. Ooh. But what he didn't think about when he did that was the fact that he had the ceiling fan on.
Oh my God.
And so he's on the couch, he does this, everything goes everywhere, like in little teeny tiny pieces. Like he did what he was setting out to do. Like there was nothing left.
Red.
And so they go in as CSI, like, because they got to go in there and do like all the photography and stuff. And there's like head matter, like every once in a while, just slinging. and a cop pokes his head around the corner, is like, "Hey kids, if y'all are looking for the switch for the ceiling fan, it's behind the couch on the floor."
Oh no.
And they're like, "What?" And like I just finished up a chapter where it was take your family member to work, and it was like take your family member to work day, and it's like the worst like decomp like call she ever got. Like it was awful. You felt so bad for like her dad. So but yeah.
Yay.
It's definitely good if you're into that kind of thing. So I find it I like a little humor with my true crime.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So guys, again, this is our podcast. So I will be popping up comments here and there saying hi, but for the most part, we're just gonna be talking.
Gotta buy our stuff.
Buy our shit.
You're gonna give us money.
Is that what? No, that's right. You have to pay us to pull up the comment, even though we will not know what to do with the money if you actually give it to us.
Yeah, we'll just probably save it.
You know what though?
What?
Pop porn.
Just a whole bunch of Mariah Carey lookalikes and stuff like that.
I'd say damn autocorrect, but I'm just wondering why it would autocorrect to that. So, so are we, Slippy. So are we.
So we're finishing up on our old man Gacy, huh?
Yeah. We're gonna get under the floorboards. We're getting to the floorboards. We're gonna find that smell. We're gonna figure out what it is.
That smell.
So
nice. I'm gonna star that one, Slippy, and that's where we left off.
Haha.
So, last episode we left off talking about Gacy's first sexual assaults and arrest, And now we are getting into his victims. So, Gacy committed his first known murder in January of 1972 after luring the 16-year-old Timothy McCoy to his house for sex.
That was the one where he woke up and saw him with the butcher knife in his hand.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
Yep. Basically, the next morning after they had got done having sex, Gacy saw McCoy standing in the bedroom doorway with a knife and rushed him and wrestled the knife away and then stabbed him to death. After this, he actually realized it was, a little too late, but he realized that he hadn't been trying to attack him or even threaten him.
Oh, he saw the breakfast.
But he was holding the knife because he had just made them breakfast.
Breakfast.
No.
Made him breakfast.
Say it again, Derry.
Breakfast.
You know, the odd thing about this is when he discovers that well, I can't even say even normal person, because any normal person probably wouldn't be doing this stuff to begin with.
But people don't get a boner when they kill someone.
Yeah, rather than, you think you'd have just a momentary oh man, I shouldn't have done that because he was only fixing me breakfast. No, for Gacy it was like, wow, that was what I needed.
I can attest to awkward boners. That is probably one of the times I don't think I ever would have it.
Well, yeah, he discovered that he received sexual gratification from killing him. And he actually said later in the book, Buried Dreams, that's when I realized that death was the ultimate thrill.
But it's, what's his face? The Rostov Ripper. I was about to say Kuklinski, not, the one who can only get hard. That sounded bad.
Chikatilo,
there you go. Who he could only get an erection if he saw blood, and then he couldn't only achieve orgasm if he saw the blood spurting and stuff like that. It was some things, man.
Yeah, it's just those weird fetish things that most people would probably find absolutely disgusting. But yeah. But every time I hear Chikatilo, I always think of Dan Cummings. I'm sorry.
Think of who?
Dan Cummings.
Dan Cummings when he does his Chikatilo impersonation.
I'm sorry. Just yesterday when I was listening to him, and all of a sudden and Joan of Arc died when she rolled out of bed or fell out of bed and broke her pee boner. I was like, are you serious? I could not stop laughing at it. He went
half the time I can't tell if he's being real or if he's making up stuff.
Oh, that entire thing with Joachim Kroll when he's talking about the varicose veins and everything.
I was like, I was quickly looking up this. I was like, what is this? I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna see some shit here. And then all of a sudden it was at the end of his rant, and it was just
fucking with you guys.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
Because I was like, that can't happen. Like the entire time he's saying that, I'm like, but wait, what? No, that can't happen. But this has been a pretty fucked up episode. Maybe.
And he's usually straight on with his, his information and stuff. You gotta wait.
Like, what the hell? Was that actually a thing?
All right, back on track.
Whoop. I knocked the wrong thing down. Okay, so I don't mean to be laughing, but I accidentally pulled the entire internet down for a second there and came back in. So, whoops. Okay, another of Gacy's victims was John Butkovich. He was an 18-year-old PDM employee whom Gacy lured to his house with a promise to discuss his overdue pay. And once there, Gacy gave him some alcohol, tricked him into putting on handcuffs, and then strangled him.
Look, if one thing we've learned, don't ever do the handcuff trick. Don't ever do it. If someone says, hey, you want to try these handcuffs on? It's always no, I do not.
I'm good.
I'm good. Why don't you try them on first?
Exactly.
Put them in front of you, not behind you, so I can see what you're doing with them.
So this is all according to The Man Who Killed Boys, the John Wayne Gacy Jr. story by Clifford L. Leindecker.
Wait, he was a junior?
I guess so.
There's no way he was a junior.
I guess so.
Huh.
The use of
John Wayne Gacy?
Yeah. Guess he was.
Oh, the middle name. It's different.
Can't be a junior without a.
Yeah.
No. You're not a junior.
I don't know.
So the use of handcuffs became a frequent method for Gacy, who would sometimes tell his victims he was going to show them a magic trick. Butkovich's parents were suspicious of Gacy and called the police more than 100 times, urging them to investigate him further, according to Leindecker. By the middle of 1970, by the middle of the 70s, 2 more young men accused Gacy of rape, and he was questioned by police about the disappearances of others. Gacy referred to this period of his life as his cruising years, when he committed most of his murders.
Mm-hmm. Cruising for a bruising, huh?
But it would make you wonder, like, what made these few men that accused Gacy of rape different than the ones that he murdered if this was his cruising years? I mean, that's just a curiosity that pops up in my head.
That's when he committed most of his murders, was the cruising years.
His probably like a little berserk, or his berserk mode that he had.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they just didn't play the handcuff trick.
Probably.
No, I'm good.
Most of his victims at this
time. It was
time,
a sexual harassment if you don't do the handcuff trick.
Pretty much.
That's the difference between rape and not rape.
We figured it out.
Don't do the handcuff trick.
They weren't team players.
No, I don't want to do the damn handcuff trick. Stop groping me too.
Most of his victims were buried on the property, with several placed in a common grave underneath the crawl space. One of his victims was a 17-year-old PDM employee named Gregory Godzik. He told his family that Gacy had earlier reported him or ordered him to dig trenches in the crawl space at his home. Gacy later told the police he arranged this work to create space for graves, according to John Wayne Gacy defending a monster. After Godzik went missing, his family contacted Gacy, who told them that Godzik had confided to Gacy that he planned to run away from home. Gacy killed several more victims during this time period. One he left alive was Robert Donnelly, a 19-year-old college student that he abducted from a Chicago bus stop. After bringing him to his house, Gacy raped and tortured him, dunking his head repeatedly in the bathtub until he passed out, and would perform fake executions with a gun loaded with blanks.
Wow.
Donnelly was in so much pain he begged Gacy to kill him, but Gacy wouldn't let him go. But Gacy would let him go, rather, and warned him not to tell anybody. He reported him to the police immediately.
Don't you go telling on me now. Okay.
Well, sure. We're just going to keep this between us. I'm sorry, but like, even at 17, like if somebody had me digging grave-size holes in their basement, wouldn't that be kind of like,
don't go back there?
Yeah.
This is the
I mean, you know,
right come on now.
even during that time, I'd be like, this is a little sus.
Well, get this. When the officers investigated it, Gacy just said it was consensual sex slavery encounters. And the police believed him. And this is according to Buried Dreams.
This was them saying, not my problem.
Gacy then killed another victim a month later.
That's too much paperwork.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and just not deal with this.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it was totally consensual sex slavery. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, you do you. It doesn't matter that I smell rotting corpses when I walk into your fucking house.
You know, I just sometimes think they just didn't know how to handle it. I mean, honestly, I know the whole paperwork thing it would just be me being sarcastic. But I honestly think in a lot of cases, they probably just didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah. Well, especially at the time, because this was kind of still a little unheard of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So was it 78 you said? Or
70.
When they got him, and this time, the Des Plaines police.
You can imagine, too.
It was 78.
You can imagine, too, with how the lack of communication between states at the time. California is a world away in consideration to, like, Chicago, you know? So
right. And everything was like runaway. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they just ran away. They'll show up eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Check that one out.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to address it. What's clueless?
Who knows?
Seriously, what's clueless about this? Considering that
Stefan,
I am literally citing multiple books
that we listened to.
That we didn't read. That we listened to
multiple documentaries that we were citing multiple documentaries that we started and then stopped about 10 minutes in.
Totally. Because we did not do research whatsoever.
Not one bit.
Oh my God! Hold on.
Hold up.
Wait, are we supposed to do research for this shit?
What?
I don't know. He's using one of my lines of sexual harassment panda. It's clearly someone we know. About the handcuffs, I did a lot at freaking Dom again. God,
are you talking like Dom? Dude, does Dom?
Hey, you know what? We really need theme music for Name That Troll. Name That Troll, and there's there could be merch involved. You are right.
There we go. Does that work?
Manson dance. Everybody in the comments, Manson dance.
What? I was grooving it. I was hoping Chad.
That was awesome. Hey, thank you, Chad. Was it Chad? Thank you, Chad. Don't those usually wind up like on the butthole of a cat?
I think that's what a Chad is. I don't know.
I think that's what Chad is. Anyway, thanks, Chad. You just gave us theme music.
He has a bit of a sadomasochistic humor. I think he was trying to spell tumor.
Tumor.
Tumor. Bro got his grammar right finally. Look at that shit. Still can't even capitalize an I.
I still have to say, now I have to send you more shit. T or D. All right, we're going
I think we should keep on with our absolutely made up information.
Totally, yeah.
Right.
So by 1978, Gacy's crawl space had no more space for bodies, according to the Killer Clown. Yes, another book. And he started to dispose of his victims.
Is it a second book?
They say, but we really don't know.
Is it a third book?
So he then started to dispose of his victims in the river from the bridges off Interstate 55. It was the Des Plaines River.
Mm-hmm.
On December 11th, 1978, 15-year-old Robert Piest went missing after telling his mother he was going to meet Gacy to discuss a potential construction job. Piest's family filed a missing persons report with the police, which led to a search of Gacy's house in Northwood Park. Authorities discovered several suspicious items there, including police badges, a pistol, hypodermic needles, pornographic films, and items that they later learned belonged to some of Gacy's victims.
What? No magic handcuffs?
No magic handcuffs.
No magic handcuffs.
Oh, hey, we clearly don't have the right guy here. There's no magic handcuffs.
Damn it. So after a lengthy period of police surveillance and investigation, police discovered a receipt in Gacy's house that belonged to Piest, contradicting Gacy's claim that he had no contact with him the day that he went missing. This is according to another book.
Can I just stop you
John
real fast?
Wayne Gacy defending a monster.
Can I just stop? Just real quick. If I was Gacy and when I got actually caught and I described the handcuff trick, I'm like, oh, you want to see it? Sorry, I would have been that guy.
That's D. Yes.
D's nuts.
I got more to send you now.
Kisa, you're rad.
So, let's see. This resulted in further searches of Gacy's house, eventually leading to the discovery of several trenches filled with human remains in the crawl space beneath his house. Gacy eventually confessed to killing about 30 people. Honestly, it's thought that he killed more than that.
Yeah.
I think he did. I believe he had accomplices.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I absolutely think he does. I think he did.
going into that, we do have a whole episode on Gacy that we talk about his possible accomplices.
The
Roots Blade Red.
That and the other episode we did with You Can't.
Yeah.
Can't
and another You Can't Sit With Us.
So we did as You Can't Sit With Us.
I still
with the child pornography rings back in the 70s.
Oh yeah, I definitely believe he was a part of that.
So in 1979, months after Gacy's arrest, his house at 8213 West Summerdale Avenue in Norwood Park, Illinois.
The house is no longer there.
That's why I was willing to say it.
It's still to this day, I think, a vacant lot.
Yeah. It was dismantled in an effort to find more evidence. The following year, the house and all structures on the property were demolished.
Oh no, look.
No, it's not.
And that's how you make a brand new haunted house.
They did actually eventually build a new house on the property.
Oh my God.
So they moved the gravestones, but not the bodies.
Basically.
Did they dig a pool?
Nadine.
So wait, I do have some funny comments real fast.
All right, let's get into comments real fast.
Wait. Here we go. Awkward boners reminds me of the time at the nursing home. And talking about money, I've raised $215 for Toys for Tots. Rad.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I was at a pizza place earlier today, and they had a bin for Toys for Tots, and right on top of it, someone bought one of the a gigantic Lego set. I was like, some kid's gonna have a great Christmas this year. I was like, it's just like name brand Legos too. It was freaking awesome.
That's cool.
I thought you were going to tell me that's where you found your 15-pound pizza.
Yeah.
Right on top of the Toys for Tots.
It was like actually 30 pounds because it was 2 of them. Yeah, I was like, this is awesome. I'm gonna go home, guys. I'll see you later.
Legos and pizza, and we're good.
Yep. Sir, those don't belong to you. Yeah, they do. I'll see you later.
Bye.
So, according to one of the workers that was involved in the demolition of Gacy's house, he stated, "If the devil's alive, he lived here." Oh God. Can you imagine having to dig up those bodies that are stacked upon each other, and it's not exactly like they haven't been embalmed or anything, so they're just rotting.
Oh, I can
everything in it.
It's just putrefaction, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, because they weren't that deep. I mean,
no. They're under the crawl space. I mean, it wasn't even that far under the crawl space, and he started having to stack bodies.
Dean Corll's shack. That is actually worse because they had to dig that up in the middle of the summertime, and it was corpse soup that they were going through.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're all soup.
Well, and I can't remember. We have studied so many serial killers, but didn't they actually, when they were doing a lot of this demolition, they found, I want to say they found 1 or 2 bodies under the driveway, or it was a patio or something.
Patio, where he had his grill, right where he had his grill, there was a body underneath it. Yeah. And they had several parties there, like had 4th of July parties, Easter's, stuff like that there. He had actual like prominent men there.
And see, you've got to wonder, because there are some like mental things going on in a lot of criminal minds to where they get like a thrill. And I don't know whether Gacy was this way or not. I would not be surprised, but where they do get that thrill of knowing that they know something nobody else does. And that may have, in my train of thought, may have been one of the reasons, besides safety of the bodies being found, why he kept them so close.
Yeah.
I
think it comes down to control.
Probably.
Really. Also, I do believe that, like we talked about in the other episode, he possibly was also storing bodies there that other killers were, other people were, part of the whole sex ring and stuff like that, or that they were bodies that were just getting rid of. That is a possibility too.
Well, did we even talk about his political affiliations and stuff like that? Because one of the things that was interesting about him is that he was this. He was precinct captain, basically, of the political party in that area for the Norwood Park Township.
The Democratic Party. It's fine.
I thought I said Democratic, but
yeah.
And so he would host parties at his house.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it wasn't just it wasn't just like, holidays events that he had there. It was other parties he had there too. It was gatherings and stuff like that with the smell and everything in the house.
And nobody noticed
Yeah.
anything?
They noticed. They just figured they always played it off as it was probably like a dead rat or something like that he hasn't gotten to.
Well, and there's a lot of debate there. Like, there's a lot of people that say that a decomposing human smells completely different than a decomposing animal. But there are a lot of retired, detectives and things like that will tell you that the layman 9 times out of 10 cannot tell the difference.
Death is death. Yeah, it smells.
Yeah, it's just that whole putrefaction process, and like there's a whole line of different chemicals that cause it, and but it's the same in humans as an animal.
I can tell you from growing up on a farm, there is a very big difference between even like large animals and small animals.
Oh yeah.
And when you
except I will tell you, one time in the backyard, because this was years ago, we had this wooded area in our backyard, and there was something down there that smelled awful. Like, I was like, what, did a cow get out and die, or a big old deer? It was a teeny tiny turtle.
It was a turtle?
Oh, wow.
It was a turtle, and it smelled awful.
There is something dead on the way to one of the jobs that I go to. And I've been like rolling windows down while driving, and it's nice and cool out finally. And then you hit that spot, and you seem to forget until you hit that spot, and now your whole entire car is filled with like decay smell. Like,
and God forbid if you're running your air, because it's in your air conditioning, and it takes a while to get all that stuff out.
Oh, you get a skunk smell when it just cooks in the AC or heater and all stuff. Like, I'll just go away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Scott Paulson.
Lime. It did keep it for a little while, but it's not as effective as people think at getting rid of the smell. Especially not with that many bodies.
Yeah, he had a lot of bodies in there, but yeah, he did make it a point to put the lime and all that stuff on him beforehand. But there was,
or lemons.
I think it was part about what they had. Maybe they were like under maybe at the most a foot of dirt. It was like nothing.
Yeah.
And see, that's not. And I never understood that. What is the deal with shallow graves?
I never understood the fact that he had a construction company, but he just put them under his house
because he wanted to keep them close. Yeah. They belong to him.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing. At that point, they're all his. They belong to him now. So let's start talking about the trial and conviction. Gacy's trial began on February 6th, 1980, with Gacy having confessed to the crimes.
A year and a day before my birthday.
The arguments were focused on whether he could be declared insane and thus remitted to a state mental facility. Gacy spent hundreds of hours with doctors at the Menard Correctional Center in Chester, Illinois, and underwent a series of psychological tests. And this is according to Buried Dreams. Cited another book.
I think Scott Paulson's a troll, maybe. Gacy, we'll see where this goes.
Gacy tried to argue he had multiple personality disorder and that his mind was split between the personalities of a contractor, a clown, a politician, and a police officer named Bad Jack.
Bad Jack,
yeah. Gacy claimed Bad Jack hated homosexuality and viewed male prostitutes and some of Gacy's victims as scum, weak, stupid, and degraded.
It almost sounds like a pirate.
Right? Bad Jack! Arr.
Arr.
Oh, we know he's not a troll. He's been in here before.
I know.
We're just playing. Yes, always remember him describing the maggots, the sound of the maggots. Yep. I don't like maggots.
Did you know that maggots will bounce and jump when you shine light on them?
Yep. Yeah. Unfortunately, I do. There was like in the summer, you can't help but have flies in the house. You just can't. It gets gross.
Oh, the trash can. Oh my God.
We didn't know that we had a crack in the bottom of our trash can. Now, mind you, they were getting out of the trash bags too. And
it doesn't take anything. Like down here in the South, you have got to change your trash like every day.
Yeah, for us, it's like twice a day minimum during the summer. And because I walked out one day and I was like, "What? Did someone spill rice? Oh my god!"
Well, and we had bought these fly catchers. Okay, like they work great, but they have like a hormone water. There is no type of poison whatsoever in these bags. It's just like a hormonal water that like pulls them in. Yeah, it's nice until you get a couple in there, and at least with the flies that we have in this area, it doesn't matter whether they're dead or not. If they've got larvae eggs within them, they're going to hatch.
Yeah.
I will never buy another one of those because within 3 days of putting that up, like it was a disgusting mess.
It
was awful.
We bought electrified tennis rackets.
We've
got one of those, and we've got a salt gun. The little salt gun that you can shoot flies with. Yeah.
My problem is I'd probably hit the dogs.
When I first got when we first got our smokers, I had a brisket and I trimmed it all up, and it was like August, like here. So it was like, and that day it was like 110, 115, somewhere around there. And I got it all trimmed up, and I threw everything away in the trash, and I just didn't think about it. And I went out there, I smoked it and everything, and I went and laid down and went to bed, and I woke up the next morning, and I was like, what the hell does it smell like a dead body in here? And I go over to the trash can, I was like, oh, all the trimmings.
Oh god,
and everything. I was like, oh no, I had to get them out. It took like a day for the smell to get out of the house.
Say the thrill in living in a hot climate.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. No, it wasn't.
So because we're in on it, or in this actual part,
we were in on I was not in on this. I did not hold the magic handcuffs.
Because we're in this part of the story, I guess. Paul has a good point. The psychiatrists described him as basically having this relationship with his father that he was basically killing himself over and over again. Basically, that when he was killing these boys, he was trying to act as if he was his own father, killing the gay out of them, you know?
Well, that makes none of this makes sense. I mean, to someone whose brain works in at least a semi-normal pattern. But yeah, I mean, I could see that. Or because I know he always looked up to his dad, even though his dad pretty much just.
The only time he said he was proud of him was
when he was a KFC manager.
No.
Proud of his son.
I think it had to do when he was doing the political stuff. He said that he was proud
he wasn't proud of him because his dad. His dad was a staunch Republican, and
last episode we mentioned when he said he was proud. Go find it.
No, he wasn't. But he wasn't. He was proud at some point, but it wasn't over
well, there wasn't as much contention as there is these days between political parties. So.
Oh yeah,
true. So Gacy pled not guilty by reason of insanity and went to trial on 33 murder charges. The prosecution argued that Gacy was sane and in control of his actions, pointing to the elaborate steps that he took both to prepare for his and to conceal his murders. These were certainly the acts of a man capable of premeditation, acting in his own best interest, under duress, and recollecting the details of his crime or criminal activities. This was said by Chief Prosecutor William Kunkel, according to
Kunkel.
Huh,
William Kunkel.
Hey, Star.
Hey. So, mental health professionals testified for both sides about Gacy's mental state. On March 12th, 1980, after a short jury deliberation, Gacy was found guilty of committing 33 murders. He became known as one of the most ruthless serial killers in American history.
Yeah. Once he got there, and then, a little bit later, old Jeffrey Dahmer happened.
Yeah.
So Gacy was imprisoned at the Menard Correctional Center in Chester for 14 years, appealing the sentence and offering contradictory statements on the murders in interviews. Although he previously confessed, Gacy later denied being guilty of the charges and had a 900 telephone number set up with a 12-minute recorded statement declaring his innocence.
So while he was there, though, Macabre is from, I think, Illinois, the death metal band Macabre, or progressive death metal band, whatever, however they are. Their murder music is what they describe themselves as. They started out back in the 80s, and they had a regular communication with him, with John Wayne Gacy. They would actually go, I think they would have a visitation with him and stuff.
That's crazy.
Like actually in the jail. And several other serial killers, but specifically John Wayne Gacy.
Well, while at Menard, Gacy took up studying the visual arts, especially painting. His paintings were shown to the public via an exhibition at Chicago Gallery. Many of his paintings depict Gacy as Pogo the Clown. In 2017, Moloch's auditions in Shropshire.
Auctions.
Oh, auctions rather. Whoops. In Shropshire in the UK Kingdom, or the UK. I can't speak. Okay. In the UK, auctioned off several of Gacy's artworks as well as crime scene photos from the trial.
I didn't realize it was a United Kingdom auction house that did that.
Huh. I know.
That's interesting.
The Museum of Death has the one here in
that would be rad.
California and down or in Hollywood has several pieces of his artwork.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Now, wasn't Gacy the main reason that they put that law in place that people could not make money off?
No,
like serial killers could not make money off their artwork and stuff like that.
Alcatraz, actually.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
He was making the birdseed line or books that he was writing.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he was just batshit crazy with the birds and lived in filth.
Ugh.
Like, yeah, he was making I think the equivalent of millions for his family.
Wow.
A year. And then it was after him because they were making so much money that they started making it so you couldn't make money off anything you do in prison.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I think they can still
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sell
it goes
stuff, but the money goes to
the victims.
The victims' families or the victims. Yeah.
If there's any like death or anything that happens, yeah.
Yeah.
So, death and last words. After the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear Gacy's final appeal in October of 93, an execution date was actually set, and this was May 10th, 1994. The Stateville Correctional Center in Crest Hill. Wow, I went dyslexic on that.
Isn't Hillcrest in Back to the Future?
No, Hillcrest. There's a Hillcrest here.
I thought there was a Hillcrest. That's Hillcrest in Back to the Future.
I'm sure it is. I thought the Pine was the
Twin
Pine.
Or some twin. There you go.
The Twin Pine Mall, and then it was the Lone Pine Mall.
Yeah.
Okay, back to this. Crest Hill, Illinois. Before his death, Gacy said the victims' families would get no comfort from his death and accused the state of murdering him. His last words were reportedly, "Kiss my ass."
Yep.
I can actually see that.
Yeah.
A mad little man. You know what I'm saying? That he just did not pull the wool over people's eyes.
Mm-hmm. Well, so some people are trying to say like, oh, he didn't speak in his final moments, but everybody has always said that he said, "Kiss my ass."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was executed by lethal injection, which was still too good for him.
Oh, it should have been done by Garrote, the same way he did his victims.
They really should. They should just that's how they should do the death sentence.
Oh yeah.
The same way
that
you killed
me and Oddfather were talking about this not too long ago, and I believe in some states people can still actually, because in some states you can request, like it's not a certain order that it's got to be done a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You can still request hanging or
firing squad. Too.
Yeah.
I think
the firing squad, when they request that's to fuck with people.
Well, no.
Oh yeah.
That's a quick death if you're going by firing squad.
Yeah, but the problem is the person firing. Yeah. That's why they make it seem like everyone has a bullet, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They, only one person. There's only
one actual bullet.
One round.
The rest are blanks.
Yep. And no one knows who gets it.
They should do a tracer.
Well, I think they do that with the electric chair and the lethal injection, don't they? Where you have several people that are administering it and nobody actually knows whose button works.
Yeah. It's so that these people don't have to deal with having murdered somebody, even if the person deserved it.
Yeah.
and we don't have to actually have executioners like on the payroll.
Yeah,
I think we should
like
have
back in medieval days.
We should have executioners again. They seem like neat people to be around. They actually did. They didn't seem like they were saying how happy a lot of them were, wasn't it? Like they were just like very normal, nice people for the most part. Like
some got way too into their work and it just ruined everything about them. And then others got like,
give me a body, please.
No, like they would just take it home with them, basically. Take the feelings home with them. And it just made for a horrible home life for everybody.
Honey, how was your day? I killed several today. It was legal. Well,
you know, I think any job that has some element of power. I'm not talking about like, well, I don't know, maybe possibly, but I'm not really talking about like managers, but I'm talking about positions of high power to where they feel like they really have a certain amount of control over a large majority of people. It's always going to pull in, you know, some of the wrong kind of people.
Again, like us. Yeah, because we have so much power. So much.
Power. They've been coming in.
I see Mr. Giggles is in here.
Hey, Mr. Giggles.
Hello. And I think that's the
only. That's it. Yeah, I thought there was a couple more.
Well, Nadine and Star, but we said hi to them.
Yep.
Mr. Giggles.
Excuse me.
He's going to be coming up here for a show.
Yep.
All
Actually,
right.
We're almost done, aren't we?
Yep. And I just totally screwed up my thing here. So, in the years since Gacy's arrest, there have been lingering concerns that Gacy might have been responsible for deaths of other people whose bodies have yet to be found. Well, yeah, he threw some in the river.
Yeah.
And when police uncovered human remains in Gacy's house in 1978, 8 bodies couldn't be identified. And I think this ties back to another podcast that we did talking about the Ninth Satanic Circle.
Wasn't it
and the child sex ring?
The one who had the specific what was it, bathing suit, wasn't it? I thought they supposedly they might suspect that he might be one of the bodies there.
Well, in July of 2017, Cook County authorities used DNA evidence to identify one of the unidentified victims. He was 16-year-old Jimmy Byron Hackinson, who had been reported missing in 1976.
Real fast, let me go back on it. It was one of Dean Corll's victims. They had a photograph of supposedly had this odd swim trunks.
Yeah, that was Dean Corll.
Yeah, and then but they couldn't identify him there. They had the photograph.
Yeah,
but they actually think that the one of the bodies, unidentified bodies, that Gacy's might have been one of
Dean Corll's.
Yeah.
Well, because supposedly they had run-ins. So, in October 2021, DNA testing identified another of Gacy's victims as 21-year-old Francis Wayne Alexander, who also disappeared in 1976.
I'm sorry, that was the theory behind it. Let me just rephrase that. So now we're going to be putting this episode up.
Yeah. So, movies about John Wayne Gacy. In 1992, television movie titled To Catch a Killer explored the efforts to find out what happened to the missing teenage boys who were later discovered to be amongst Gacy's victims. The movie starred Brian Dennehy, Michael Riley, and Margot Kidder. Dennehy played Gacy, was actually nominated for an Emmy award. According to Dennehy, Gacy wrote a letter to him from prison protesting his portrayal in the film and proclaiming his innocence, of course. And then April 20th, 2022, Netflix released Conversations with a Killer, the John Wayne Gacy tapes.
Oh, there's several.
Featuring interviews with people involved with the case, archival audio footage from Gacy's incarceration. It's the second entry in Netflix Conversations with a Killer documentary, the first of which was for Ted Bundy.
And then the Dahmer tapes was really good too. But yeah, this is just 2 or 3 or whatever documentaries or whatnot or movies. There's several of them. There is so much stuff on Gacy out there.
These are some of the more notable ones. Here's some great quotes. She says facetiously. from Gacy. 1, a clown can get away with murder.
Yeah, it's true.
I should never have been convicted of anything more serious than running a cemetery without a license.
Huh. Some nice one-liners here, Gacy.
that one right there gets me. I should never have been convicted for anything more serious than running a cemetery without a license. And that again,
on that note,
brings me back to connecting it to the other podcast that we had, where we talked about how some of these people had frequented Gacy's home.
Well, that was
and I wanted to bring that up because I've got a tiny article that I've got pulled up about that.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. No, because you were talking about the connection with other people that may have been there at Gacy's house and things like that. Now Robin Getcht, he was the leader of a satanic cannibal serial cult or serial killer group known as the Chicago Ripper Crew.
Yes.
And they were, or at least he, worked for Gacy. After being sentenced to death in 1980, John Wayne Gacy actively studied law at the Menard Correctional Center in Chester, Illinois. He continued to maintain that at least 28 of the murders had been committed by employees who had keys to his house. That claim seemed plausible not plausible until it was later revealed that Gacy had at least once hired handyman Robin Getcht to work as a subcontractor.
Yeah.
Getcht, as it turned out, was the leader of the Chicago Ripper Crew. It was a 4-man gang. They say devil worshiping, so just say sadists.
Getch,
fake Satanists.
Well, Getch,
yes, and sexual sadists.
To do everything. I think he claimed to do everything for Satan or something like that at some point.
Yeah,
and that's what they ran on.
Yeah, I disagree, Keisa.
And they were convicted of rape, torture, and cannibalizing victims, often prostitutes, that they either picked up off the street or simply grabbed and forced inside the group's van. The Ripper Crew is suspected in the disappearance of 18 area women throughout 1981 and 1982. However, if it hadn't have been for all that going on and Gacy's cruising years, it was the gay community in those areas that really, and I know I brought this up in the first episode of what we're doing right now, that really helped to put pressure on the police to look into this.
Oh yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
We got through this.
Yeah.
Woo!
We did. We're getting better about not squirreling out quite so much.
We're back on our regular schedule next Thursday. We just took this last Thursday off because it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Why would we do that? Why would
we should have been on here working?
Why the hell would we do
Y'all
that?
should have been listening instead of eating turkey. God, and spending time with your family. God.
Oh my goth turkey.
We eat
ham.
ham.
We smoked it longer. It could have been a goth turkey.
Yeah, it was there.
A goth turkey.
Yeah, I did it I did our turkey on our drum smoker, and I just let it go, and it came out really good.
It was good. And I made
it sounds delicious.
Bone broth.
She goes shopping today, and she calls me up. And she goes, "Hey, what do you want for dinner tonight? I'm at the store or whatever." And I was like, "No turkey." I was like, "We're done with it right now."
Why would I have got turkey? Although there was a tiny turkey that I almost bought, just because it was this big.
We had so much left over.
Look. So neither Odd Father or Odd Daughter like turkey. So every year on the holidays we have ham, which I absolutely love ham. Don't get me wrong, but I would love a good turkey. I absolutely love turkey.
Oh, it's nice. Ham, I do like ham better. Ham and prime rib.
I made a really good bone broth. Really good.
I know, I saw that.
And it's gelatinized and awesome. And all you need is 1 scoop and then add water and just whatever you're doing.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, because we cooked it down for a few hours.
You freeze that, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We went 12 hours. We cooked it all the way down. Yeah.
Well, he's planning on using some for a gumbo.
Yeah.
soon.
Oh yeah.
I made turkey noodle soup, and
Yeah,
I
guys, we
also
cook.
made turkey pot pie.
Yes, not only do you get a lesson in true crime, but also recipes.
You got to do something with the body, you know, because
Bone broth.
don't
Bone broth.
The number one rule of hunting is you use everything off the.
Well, you know, the pesky problem with bodies is they're easy to find.
Yep. They are. And if there's no evidence, if there's no body,
No body, no crime.
It's all circumstantial after that.
Nobody, no crime.
Don't take our advice. We're being silly.
We're joking. I made a mess.
Just kidding.
Right. Keys of bone stew.
What was it?
Stone soup.
Mm.
All right, guys. We are done, and we'll be back the next Thursday for something else. I don't know what we're doing yet.
Possibly Japanese lore.
Oh,
that's right.
And
that's right.
samurais and Unabugeisha.
Right. You have a dis on my memory.
So we're going to talk about Japanese cryptids, Japanese lore, samurai, and the Onabugeisha.
Dis on my memory. All right, guys.
We should tag Becky.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye.